This conference will now be recorded.
Hey, hello everyone. Welcome to Mithun Technologies. Today we are going to discuss about this. What is the Terraform? Why we need to use this Terraform? What is the traditional method which we are following for creating this infrastructure before using this Terraform? Then what is the advantage of using the Terraform rather than our traditional method? Right? How we can automate it? What is the benefit if you use this Terraform? What are the disadvantages of that traditional infrastructure creation? All these things we are going to discuss today. Before that, let me introduce myself. So my name is Bhaskar Reddy. I'm having 16 years of experience in IT industry. So currently, I'm working as a DevOps architect and a cloud consultant, and as well as a trainer on these DevOps tools and cloud solutions like AWS, Azure, IBM Cloud. Mainly, I worked on AWS and IBM Cloud. Right. So I know that Microsoft Azure, but I didn't get a chance to work on this Azure. I trained over more than 20,000 plus IT professionals and students both. So initially I was giving that trainings on Java. Later I switched to my profile into this DevOps. So I got a chance to give that more trainings on this DevOps and cloud computing. So along with me, another trainer is there. Okay, he's also having very good experience. He's going to take care of this Terraform batches. So today he's unavailable. So that's why I'm giving this demo. Okay, so both are having good, very good experience. So he couldn't able to join today. That's why I'm giving this demo. So before going to discuss this Terraform, first we'll discuss about the challenges with traditional infrastructure. So first of all, what is the infrastructure? Anybody idea? So guys, if you have any questions, please ping in the chat box. I will answer, and I will give that at the end of the session some time for this question and answers, so that you guys can ask. In between, if you have any questions, please ping your questions in this chat box. Vina is asking, is this Azure and Azure or AWS both are same? Okay, so both are same category, like cloud service providers. Cloud service providers. They are providing that various services, right? So today, AWS and Azure providing the 200 plus services, right? So those services helping to that DevOps engine to make it faster and quickly, the deployments. So ready-made services are there. Using those services, we can make it very easily, right? So, but Azure is providing by the Microsoft. AWS is providing that Amazon, right? If you know one cloud, adopting other cloud is very simple. See, the concepts are same, any cloud, right? But the technical words, the terminology is little different. The terminology is little different. If you know one cloud, learning other cloud, exploring other cloud is very simple, right? Okay. So what do you mean by infrastructure? Infrastructure is nothing but creating the servers, creating the networks, creating the volumes, storages, these things. See, I want to deploy one application. If you want to deploy one application, you should have a server. You should have a server. Without server, can you able to deploy? Without a server, we are not able to deploy the application. Right. Without server, we are not able to deploy the application. So we need to create the server. Right. So first we'll discuss this one. Then what is the infrastructure as a code? IAC. The advantage of IAC, infrastructure as a code. How infrastructure as code works. Then what is Terraform and why we need to use this Terraform. So all these things we need to discuss. Right. So the earlier infrastructure, if you want to deliver this application, how we were following this, getting this infrastructure, traditional infrastructure creation. See, first, as per the business requirement, as per the business requirement, we are going to set up the meeting with the client team, this business analyst. They are going to set up the meeting with the client and they are going to gather the requirements. Based on the requirement, we are going to work with the solution architect or team lead. Okay, so the client wants three environments. Usually, what are the environments mainly which we are going to follow for any project? How many? Yes, can you ping? Dilip is saying dev, UAT, and prod. Yes, most of the projects like a dev environment, right? Then we can call as a QA environment or pre-production, pre-production or stage environment. Then another one is production environment. So based on the client requirement, the solution architect is going to prepare some architecture diagrams and we are going to present with them, right? Then this solution architect team is going to work with the procurement team. What this procurement team is going to do? Based on our requirement, what is the infrastructure we want, right? They are going to calculate, if you want to purchase this server, how much funding we need to pay, right? Everything they are going to calculate. Then they are going to work with the infrastructure team. We can call as infrastructure team or cloud engineers. Infrastructure engineer or cloud engineer, both are same. What they are going to do? This procurement team is going to work with this infrastructure team. This infrastructure team is going to create the infrastructures, create the infrastructure as per their requirement, right? So here system engineers are there, network engineers are there. Why? Because as a Linux system, the server administrator, we are going to create the servers, right? So if any network issues, the network admin teams are going to take care of these things, right? So if any backups we need to take, the backup admins are going to take care. So in this infrastructure team, right, the Linux system administrators are there, network admins are there, and backup admins are there to take the backup. If something goes wrong, suppose you are using one server, if something goes wrong, they are going to take the backup and they are going to restore it. They are going to restore it. So they are going to create the infrastructure where in this data center. What do you mean by data center? Data center is nothing but it's a one big room, one geographic location where we can see that servers in this AWS. Many data centers are there in various regions. You see, once if you log in AWS account, I will show you that how we can log in into this AWS account. See here, 36 regions are there, right? Wherever you are living, nearby location, select and create the infrastructure. Why? Because we'll get that very good response. Suppose if you're in India, if you create the servers in Singapore or US, if you deploy the application, it is not going to give that good performance. It is not a good practice also, right? So AWS is not only AWS, other cloud service providers also, they are providing many data centers, right? There we can create the servers. There we can create the servers. But here if you observe that it is a on-premises servers data center. On-premises server means which is available, the servers, the physically existed the servers in our company, right? So if you see in this process to get this infrastructure, it will take more time. So we have some drawbacks are there in this traditional method. Say once they will get the infrastructure, they are going to share that the infrastructure details with the application team. They are going to deploy. But here some drawbacks are there. What are the drawbacks? The slow deployment. See, business based on the requirement, these business analysts are going to work with the solution architect team or leads. Again, they are going to work with the procurement team. This procurement team is going to work with this infrastructure team. This infrastructure is, team is going to create the infrastructure based on the requirement, and they are going to share with the application team. So multiple approvals are there here. Multiple approvals are there, and it's very slow process, right? And also expensive. Say if you want to create a server, if you don't have any cloud service providers, what to do? You need to purchase hardware like a RAM, hard disk, CPU, and you have to hire the administrators, server administrators. You have to provide the power supply 24 by 7, right? Internet facility, everything you have to take care. And also here see that we are recruiting that many teams, solution architect team, business analyst, procurement team, many teams are there to get the infrastructure. So in this traditional infrastructure creation method, the slow deployment, and it's expensive also. Another one is human errors. If you observe that in this method, most of the places the humans are interacting. See, as a human, definitely we are going to do that many mistakes. right? Even I hope you guys are already aware of DevOps. Even if you are not aware of DevOps also, no problem. Before implementing this DevOps methodology, middleware administrators are deploying the application manually. So if you do any manual task, definitely we are going to do the mistakes. To make it automation, to make the automation deployment, so nowadays everyone started using this DevOps methodology, right? Same way here also, definitely we are going to do some mistakes if you do that manually. This infrastructure creation, instead of manually doing this, we can make it automation. We'll see how we can make it automation, right? So like this, some issues are there with some disadvantages are there in this traditional manual infrastructure creation, and also inconsistency, right? It is not the consistency. Sometimes you are going to create very quickly without any issues. Sometimes you are going to create the infrastructure with some errors, and it will take more time also. There is no consistency, and there is no like issues free infrastructure creation. So whatever the disadvantages in this one, we can make it automation. And see here, limited automation, limited automation. Everything we are doing through manually. And resource wastage. See here, we are recruiting that many teams, right? Instead of doing all these things, we are going to use that cloud services, right? So if you use this any cloud like AWS, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud, creating the infrastructure is very simple. How? See here, instead of doing manually, we can automate it using some IIS tools. So we are going to achieve that faster deployment. No issues, no expensive. Already we know. If you want to create a server without cloud service providers, first you need to purchase the hardware. Then on top of that one, you are going to install the operating system, right? Then you are going to install the other softwares. It will take more time. It will take more time, and also it's expensive because you have to purchase the hardware. But if you use the cloud service providers, see, I have created account in this AWS. If I want a cloud, if I want to server on Linux server in a fraction of seconds, I can able to create it. Right? See, suppose I want to create the Red Hat server, right? So in a fraction of seconds, you can able to create it. See, not even minutes, server is ready, right? Suppose if you don't have these cloud service providers, first you have to manually purchase the hardware. On top of that, you have to install the operating system. On top of that, you have to install the Java or Python, whatever applications. Then you can deploy. So now server is ready. And also these cloud service providers are providing that pay as you go model. How much you are going to pay, for that one only you are going to, how much you are going to use, for that one only you are going to use it. So Amol is asking only cloud deployment we do. Can we deploy in in-house deployment any applications? whether it is external applications or internal applications, any applications deployment you can do it. See, many services, this cloud services are cloud service providers are providing like AWS, Microsoft Azure, GCP and all. You see, so using this cloud service providers, we can reduce the like price. It will the expensive is if you use the on-prem servers, it's very expensive, but it is very cheap if you use this cloud service providers. And also no human errors. Why? Because we are going to make it automation, and the resources also very less. We can make it automation also, right? So to make it automation, which tool we are going to use it? Any IAC tool. You can use that any IAC. IAC means infrastructure as a code. Infrastructure as a code. So what are the popular IAC tools are there? Terraform. Right? We have other cloud formation. This IAC tools are there like a cloud formation, right? So first one is Terraform, then cloud formation, ARM, Azure Resource Manager, templates, ARM templates. So like this, many IAC tools are there, but Terraform is the popular one. Why? If you see here, cloud formation is going to work for only AWS. ARM only for Azure. But Terraform is going to work for most of the cloud service providers. CSP means cloud service providers like AWS, Azure, Google Cloud Platform GCP, IBM Cloud. So like this, many cloud service providers this Terraform is supporting. Right. This Terraform is supporting many cloud service providers. Right. So that's why nowadays this Terraform is popular. Even most of the organizations are using this Terraform only. Right. Now most of the in interviews also this Terraform only. Why? Because we can make it automation. Whatever we are doing manually. See, I have created a server, right? That server creation, we can make it automation. Instead of manually creating, just you can write some scripts, you can make it automation. Right. So that's why Terraform become very popular. Okay. So what is infrastructure as a code? Advantage of in IAC. Infrastructure as a code is the managing and provisioning of infrastructure through code instead of through manual process. See, I have created a server. How I have created a server? I have clicked on this launch instance. Okay. Then I have specified that server name, selected that operating system, AMI. So here we are going to call as AMI. We'll discuss what is this AMI and all. Then I have selected that instance type, that keypad for connecting to the server securely, the network, and a hard disk, right? Storage 8 GB by default it is, and one server we are creating. One server we are creating. So like this, we can create the server. That is manual process. If you do the manual process, definitely we are going to do some mistakes. Yes or no? We are going to do some mistakes. Instead of creating manually the server, simple, you can write the script. Just if you run the script, it is going to create the infrastructure. Right. That's what. See here, infrastructure is is managing the and provisioning of infrastructure through code instead of through manual process. As infrastructure is defined as a code, it allows user to easily edit and distribute configuration while ensuring the desired state of infrastructure. This means you can create reproducible infrastructure configurations. Means we can reuse the code, whatever the infrastructure you want, you can create it. And also with the small changes, you can create that another infrastructure based on your requirement. Right. So infrastructure as a code is a combination of standard practices, tools and processes to provision, configure and manage the computer infrastructure using the code and other machine readable files. So we are going to write, see, we are going to create one script called as EC2 instance creation.tf. So all the Terraform scripts are going to ends with .tf. So once if you run this one, Terraform first init. So once if you execute this Terraform init, it is going to initialize the API calls under. Then you can use that Terraform apply. So whatever you are going to specify in this Terraform script, it is going to create. Right? It is going to create. See everything, whatever the infrastructure you want, we are keeping that things in the file. We are keeping in that file. Right. Okay. What is the benefit of any ISE? Not only the Terraform. See, now we are discussing about the, just we are comparing the traditional infrastructure creation and the advantages of the latest ISE tools. Now we are not talking about particularly about this Terraform. We are talking about that infrastructure as a core tools. So the advantage of infrastructure as a core tools is speed. Whatever the infrastructure you want, just you can specify those details in one file and you can run it. So it is going to create it. See, by avoiding manual intervention, infrastructure deployments are quick and safe. Easily you can able to create it. And source control. See, already we know we are going to create scripts. That is one code. Code can be checked in source control for increased transparency and accountability. It can be integrated directly with CI/CD platforms. So whatever the code which you are going to write, we are going to keep in the source code management so that others also can able to see. And those scripts, instead of manually we are running, we can implement in CI/CD process. See, I have one requirement. I want to create the server. In the server, I want to install the Java. Then I want to deploy the application. Whatever we discussed, right? creating the server, installing the Java, deploying the application. We can do it automation. First, we'll run the ISC code. It is going to create the infrastructure, like here server. Then using the Ansible, we can install the softwares. Then we can deploy the application. Using the Ansible also we can deploy the application, or you can use some application deployment models like a Canary, Blue Green. In Kubernetes, all these things we are going to discuss. Right. Okay, so whatever the code which we are going to write, that one we can share with our friends also. Next one is documentation. The infrastructure code serves as living documentation of the actual state of the infrastructure. See, we executed this one. So it's created. Right. So assume I have created one Terraform script called as a EC2 instance creation.tf. Right. So once if you run this one, it is going to create the server. Again, if you run same script, is it going to create another server? No. Why? Because it's already created. And whatever the infrastructure that is created, that state is going to maintain in the Terraform data state file. But if you delete that state file, again it is going to create. Right. So that's why it is going to maintain the documentation of the actual state of the Terraform infrastructure. Consistency. ISC can improve consistency and reduce the errors that often during the manual configurations. Yes, we know. As a human, we are going to do the many mistakes. So Rajesh is asking, what is the .tf files will store? The .tf files are going to store the some scripts, Terraform script. Okay, maybe I will show you that some scripts also. Okay, so once if you execute this one, it is going to create a file. And it is going to create a server. So which server has created and whether it is running or not, what are the server configurations, everything it is going to maintain in that Terraform state file. Right. So assume before executing this script, only one file was there. After that, it is going to create that Terraform state file. Terraform dot state file. Right. So it is going to maintain that infrastructure state. Clear? And reusability. So what are the script which we have written? We can reuse also. Right. So for that one, we are going to use that one concept called as modules in this Terraform. Right. We'll discuss that one also. IS makes it easy to create reusable modules. See? Modules. For example, replicate deployment and production environment. So what are the script which you are going to write? Same script we can use for dev, QA, production environment with the small changes, because in dev environment we are going to create with a very less configurations, RAM, hard disk and all. Which environment is going to have that more configurations? In dev, QA and production only. Why? Because production environment is going to use it by the end users. Production environment is going to use it by the end users. Right. But dev, QA, development environment is going to use by the dev team. QA environment is going to use it by the QA team. Right. But production, end users. Production is going to use it by the end users. Clear. So we can reuse the code. and we can automate that manual process. Cost reduction. Infrastructure as code allows organization to manage infrastructure like creating the servers, storages, networks, load balancers, and many other resources programmatically. Programmatically, one operator can deploy and manage the whole infrastructure for the application using the code. See, we recruited one expert on this DevOps and Terraform, these things. Once everything is ready, we'll give the same knowledge transformation to junior resource. That guy can able to create it. Here and there, small changes are going to do, and they are going to run automatically. Everything it is going to run. Instead of doing manually, if you make it automation, obviously the resources we can reduce it. We can reduce the resources, right? So these are the benefits of using that any IAC, any IAC. Either you can use it cloud formation, ARM templates, or Terraform. So now just you can search here popular IAC tools. Okay. 16 most useful infrastructure as code tools of 2025. It is saying that in this one, see, see, Space Lift, Terraform, Open, TOFU, TerraGrunt. So TerraGrunt is the advanced to the Terraform. Okay, Pulumi, AWS Cloud Formation, Azure ARM, Google CRM, right? Kubernetes operators, like this. Many IAC tools are there, but most of the guys are nowadays using this Terraform. Why? Terraform is a powerful and one of the most popular IAC tools that enables infrastructure management across multiple cloud providers using simple declarative language. It is going to use that one language called as HCL, Hashcraft Configuration Language. Right. So it is supporting multiple cloud service providers. Right. See here, stateful tracks in infrastructure state. Stateless means no, it is not going to maintain that. It is a stateful ISC tool. Right. See, this is one small code snippet. So you asked right what it contains that this one like this some scripts. Right. So it is going to contain some Terraform script. Clear. So many ISC tools are there, but Terraform is a popular one because supporting for many cloud service providers. Okay, so how this infrastructure as a code works? Infrastructure as a code can be explained from a high level in three simple steps and visualize this diagram below. See, as a DevOps engineer, we are the responsible for writing the Terraform script. We are the responsible for writing this Terraform script. Once we completed this development of this Terraform script, this ISV code, we are going to upload into that version control system. So once if execute, okay, this API server is going to connect to that whatever the provider you specified, whether it is a AWS cloud service provider or Microsoft Azure. Based on that, it is going to whatever is specified in the provider, it is going to connect to the term cloud service provider. It is going to create infrastructure, right? Say use case. I want to infrastructure management, means I want to create the servers. I want to create the networks. Which tools you are going to recommend? Any IAC tool like a Terraform, Pulumi, AWS Cloud Formation, Azure Resource Templates, ARM templates. Right. So if you want to create the servers, we are going to use any IAC tool. So server is ready now. Server is created. You have thousands of servers are there. You got the servers from the infrastructure team. In the servers, you want to install the softwares or create the files, right? In that case, we are going to the configuration management tools. Ansible is a popular one. Anybody idea what is this Ansible? Ansible is the configuration management tool which can be used to make the configurations automation. Instead of connecting manually to those servers, installing the packages, updating the packages, we can use any of these configuration management tools. We can make it automation. Ansible, or you can use Chef, or you can use Puppet. But Ansible is the popular one among these three. Why? Because Ansible developed using the Python. Python is providing many features, many algorithms, right? Even in data science or artificial intelligence, they are using this Python only, right? Clear? See, DevOps engineers write the infrastructure specification code in a domain specific language, HCL, and they are going to run this one. Send to that server. That server is going to connect and it is going to create the infrastructure. We are going to make it automation. Okay. So we are keep on discussing about this Terraform. What is a Terraform? Already we know Terraform is a infrastructure as a core tool that define the both cloud and on-prem servers resources in human readable configuration files that you can version, reuse and share. So Terraform is a one IAC tool which maintains that infrastructure details in one single file. See here, we are defining the infrastructure details in one configuration file, right? Terraform configuration files. So once if you run, it is going to maintain the Terraform state file, right? Before running this one, you can see that plan. Means if you run this Terraform script, what will happen, right? So it will give that all the details. Hmm? Once if you execute Terraform plan, Terraform will perform the following actions. Just it will connect to that one. Just it is going to check what are the things which will happen. Then apply. Once if you Terraform apply, if you execute that command, whatever the provider you specified in the provider section, it will connect to that provider, cloud service provider, and it is going to create the infrastructure, right? So Terraform is a cloud agnostic, open source. You don't want to pay the money. provisioning tool written in the Go language. See, Terraform software is developed using the Go language, but Terraform scripts are going to write in the HCL, right? Go language and created by the HashiCorp. HashiCorp is a company name. HashiCorp company is providing some other tools also. Can you tell me anybody what are the other tools which is providing by HashiCorp? Packer, Terraform, Vault, right? Vault also one tool is there providing by HashiCorp, which can be used to store the sensitive data like certificates, credentials. Credentials means username, password, tokens, right? Terraform can manage low-level components like compute, storage, and networking resources, as well as high-level components like DNS entries and SaaS features also. We can make it automation like using the Terraform. We can create the servers, low-level components also, and high-level components also. So first we'll go with low-level components like creating the servers, creating the storages, creating the volumes, creating the networks. All these things we are going to discuss. Right. So if you want to attend for this course, what are the prerequisites? No need of any prerequisites. Just if you know some computer basics, that is more enough. Right. But if you know already DevOps, it is a add-on. Why? Because we are going to discuss about that creating the Jenkins pipelines. So if you ask what is the Jenkins means, I can't able to answer. So how many guys know about that? What is the Jenkins? At least you guys heard about this Jenkins. Okay, thank you, Rajesh, for giving the confirmation. What about others? Jenkins. Jenkins is a popular CI/CD tool. Yes, thank you, Anil. CI/CD tool. Okay, no problem, Satish. Anyway, we are going to give that brief introduction of what is the CI/CD tool, right? What is the Jenkins? How we can install the Jenkins? How we can integrate this Terraform, Jenkins, Terraform with Jenkins, the source code management, Git. These things we are going to cover, right? And we'll cover the basics of AWS first with the demos as part of this course. Then we'll go with Terraform for provisioning and managing the AWS resources automatically. First, we'll teach what is the AWS service like EC2. EC2 is a one service. How we can create it? I will show you manually. See, we created one server manually, right? Then how we can make it automation using the scripts? Like that we are going to cover. First we'll show you how we can do it manually, then we'll show that how we can do it through scripts, so that easily you can able to understand. That's why we are telling that there are no prerequisites to attend this course. Even if you don't know anything also, no problem, but you have to attend the classes regularly. Guys, if you attend the classes regularly, really will become expert on this Terraform, right? See, we are going to cover the projects, how we can integrate GitHub, Jenkins, Terraform flow to provisioning the infrastructure automatically in AWS cloud. See here we are covering that AWS. We are covering the AWS. Sir, is it possible to cover that Azure? Yes, but most of the guys are using this AWS and they are asking that AWS in the market also. So if you see that AWS Azure comparison, compare 2025 Q1, just see that results. Microsoft versus Google Cloud. Mm, mm. See here, in 2006, they launched this AWS. Microsoft, they launched it in 2010. After 4 years of this AWS, they launched. GCP, they launched in 2008 only. But if you see that market share, 31 to 33% of market is using by this AWS. 21 to 24, this Microsoft, 11%. And pricing, and see here, total services 250 plus 200, 200. So like this, compared to that other this cloud service providers, the popular cloud service provider is AWS. That's why we are covering this mainland, this AWS. Clear, guys? So you may have a question. So many guys are giving the training. Why we need to join in Mithun Technologies only? Many other training centers, many guys also giving training, right? And nowadays many people are giving that DevOps in Telugu, Terraform in Telugu, DevOps in Hindi. The local languages also they are giving. Right. But why we need to join in Mithun Technologies only? 100% job oriented training. We are covering that all the real time use case scenarios. How we can do it in your company. How what are the requirements you are going to get it, and how you are going to solve all these things. We are going to cover, and the quality training and the quantity training also. It's 70 plus hours. We are going to give this Terraform, and 100% hands-on lab-based approach. So whatever we are going to teach, we are going to give assignments, and we are going to share that same scripts with you guys. You can able to run it or make this scripts as a reference. You can create your own and you can run it also. So when you are running, if you are facing any issues, we'll help you. Right, we are going to create some Slack channels. Right, there we are going to add you. I sent one technical platform. There you can post your questions. Right, and some common questions are there for everyone. We are going to provide that lifetime access to Terraform master program documents. So whatever the scripts, whatever we are going, you guys can download it. So we are not going to provide that recording videos download, and we are not going to provide that lifetime access also. 90 days. So today recording video, next 90 days it is going to work, and you don't have the access. You don't have option to download it. Are we going to provide that one-to-one training? No one-to-one training. So you have to join as a batch. In the batch you have to join. Provide intro questions. So here we don't have any separate one, but in the text file we have some questions we are going to share. Is there any faster? Yes, but I am not suggesting this one. So fast track means you have to attend that multiple batches, multiple topics, right? But I am not suggesting this one. Fees refundable or transferable? No. Once we pay the fees, we are not going to refund. We are not going to give back. Is there any job support or placement? Yes. If any opportunities are there, we are going to refer. Clear. So if you have any questions, you can please unmute yourself and you can ask the questions. Krishna is asking, are you going to cover the Terraform configuration for EKs? Yes, we are going to cover. See, first, Krishna, we are going to teach that some AWS services. How we are going to make it automation through Terraform script. We are going to cover. Yes, EKs also it is there. So team, admin team, can you share that syllabus copy with the participants? So guys, if you need any help on this enrolling, just please reach out to this number. This is Mithun Technologies admin team one number. This is also you can contact these two numbers for fees related or any documents. This is my number, trainer number. Okay. So Anil, is this multi-cloud with Terraform or only AWS? Only AWS. Okay. So if it is possible, we'll see that one or two services how we can make it with Azure. We are planning. Okay. But my suggestion is, guys, if you know one cloud, other one is very simple. You guys can do it yourself also. After completion of this course, you guys will say, hey, if you know one cloud service provider, adopting is very simple. Other cloud service provider. Okay. So Satish is asking, how is the job market now? Yes, it's okay for 3 to 4 years of experience, guys. It's good only. I can't say that it's bad, and it is not that much good also compared to earlier. It's good now. It's not bad, but you have to showcase that all the DevOps tools also. So especially this course will be very useful for the infrastructure engineers, the Linux administrators also. Instead of doing manually, you can automate it this infrastructure. So once if you complete this Terraform, you can apply for this cloud engineers or infrastructure engineers, right? Easily you can able to clear also. Okay. So guys, please subscribe our YouTube channel. So if you go to our YouTube channel, you will see that many videos also. See, we created many videos. So team, please share this YouTube. So guys, please subscribe and click on this bell icon also, so that you are going to get that notifications as soon as uploaded any videos in our YouTube channel. So Balaji's classes will be on Saturday and Sunday. No, classes will be Monday to Saturday. Sometimes we'll give holiday on Friday, Saturday, but most of the time Monday to Friday. Okay, it will be class timings will be 7:30 p.m. IST. Sometimes we may have class on Saturday also. Let's see, but it's fixed for 5 days weekly. Saturday. Sometimes we may. It's not sure. Okay. So this batch timings will be 7:30 p.m. IST. We are going to take. Clear, guys? So we are going to start this batch on June 2nd, means Monday, coming Monday. Okay. If we are interested, pay the fees and enroll. Clear? Okay. So Ravi is saying, sir, how can I manage this? It's a rotational shift. See, Ravi, if you have rotational shift, even if you conduct a morning batch or evening batch, you may going to miss some time, maybe 1 week, right? So anyway, we are going to provide that each session recording video. You can go to those videos. Okay. So guys, if you want, we'll increase that the expiry date instead of 90. We'll give you maybe 100 days also. Okay. But we have flexibility on that one. Don't worry on that one. Okay. We'll help you. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to me or you can reach out to the trainer. We'll help you on that one. Right. At any time. See, if I'm not answering, please message me in WhatsApp. I'm always busy. Okay, if you message me in WhatsApp, definitely I'm going to answer. So Pawan is going to take this batch. So we are going to start on Monday at 7:30 p.m. ST. Clear, guys? Okay. Thank you, guys. We'll see you on Monday on June 2nd at 7:30 p.m. ST. Thank you.